Okay, so this is a very unplanned prompt, and quite impulsive because I'm a very impulsive person, but because I have this playlist about like the different gates slash keys and corresponding relevant videos to the keys, I just wanted to make this video as like a sort of filler for my interpretation on gate 6 in human design slash gene keys. But I do see the relevance of gate 6 as what people usually associate gate 6 with. I want to say also, I have this gate in my chart. I'm have my personality Mercury as gate 6, and the reason why gate 6 has been kind of popping up now and like me associating it with like the current themes of like the digital world landscape is because astrologically right now we have the south node conjuncting or transiting through the 6th gate, or aka Virgo. um so it just makes it brought up like a new light to the gate. And sometimes I'm like, it's good to push the boundaries of like different belief systems. And so for as someone with the gate 6 defined, let's talk about it. So how do I see gate 6? Let's firstly talk about the common association with gate 6 vaguely. With I'm not like very good at like articulating myself professionally all the time, so I'll just summarize the vibe. Gate 6 is commonly like expressed as like in relationships, like very intimate one-on-one relationships. It is usually seen as connecting with that, like the pickiness and the standards that one has in and the friction that exists um, within a relationship of two different people, and like the uncertainty of the relationship because of the different standards and things changing. This is how I see the common interpretations, or like just standards, like standards in like intimate relationships. I think this is relevant, but I would like to add my interpretation that gate 6 is not just related to one-on-one relationships. I believe gate 6 and gate 59 and also, but gate 6 especially, gate 6 talks about relational, but not just one-on-one, relational standards in a relational context. So I'll try and explain this better, but I would like to mention the videos that I kind of added as like what I associate with Gate 6 is from Minalia and Oli Sanvia. Um, and both of them are like about the current digital landscape, which is about like how Gen Z relates to like humor, and also that was the Olivia Olisan Via video, like about what's it called? Irony, like ironic humor, sarcasm in Gen Z culture, and how that is like in order it is very based on understanding the context of things. And this and the other video is more about like fashion, culture trends, like with celebrities, and but also just like trends in general and originality. But they both have similar themes, which are, you know, right now it's just the trend that you should have like a reference for things and get in on the joke. And if you get in on the joke or you understand the reference, then you are in on the circle. You're in. you're not like outside of the circle. You get the joke. And this is like also a sort of standard of intimacy, you know? If you don't, if you're not in that algorithmic circle, or if you just aren't in that, you don't get the joke, you don't get the reference, you don't, and so on. This is also a sense of like selection of like intimacy. And I think we shouldn't see like Gate 59-6 connection as just like a one-on-one like sex kind of thing. And because the two gates are still tribalistic, and tribalistic isn't just about one-on-one. Tribalistic is about a tribe, you know? And I find it so interesting to like see that connection instead of just like, oh, gate 6 is about like being picky before you like have sex with someone. Um, yeah. I wonder if I could express this better. Also, gate 6, you know, it's associated with like those kinds of critiquers, you know, in also in human design, like those, think about Ramsey, wait, what's his name? You know, the cooks, the picky cooks, or the picky fashion model writers, they must, oh my god, wait, the fashion industry, like people who rate, I don't know why the right words aren't coming, but the people who rate like the performance of someone else, they must have a, a deep knowledge and experience even with that thing so that they can critique it well. And the same can be said about like the fashion, the current trends, and also with humor and irony. You must have a deep understanding of the culture which you're making, or not the culture, but the thing you're making fun of, the ideology, the thing that you're making fun of, or the thing that you're trying to replicate. You must understand what it entails so that you can make fun of it or recreate it, like so that it's like iconic, or that you can, that people can see, oh, this is iconic because this is this, you know. It also entails a pickiness and a standard. So I find it really interesting, you know, and I just think that like I don't really see people like connect pop culture, like digital culture, with like human design. I think people kind of just use what Ra Uruhu said like in the 90s, you know what I mean? And like he hasn't really experienced the times that we are in now, the digital times. And I think like a lot of people who make like human design videos, I think are like kind of, they have kids, you know, and they're like millennials. Not to say that you aren't like understanding digital culture if you're not a millennial, because there are people like that and even make videos and stuff, but I think like the people who are drawn to like spirituality, human design as like millennials or older are not so much like in tune with like what is happening for the Gen Z landscape. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you guys see the reference I'm saying. To summarize, gate 6 is usually associated with like pickiness, like selection and criticism, and even fickleness, if I'm not mistaken, in intimate one-on-one situations. They are also associated with like judges who critique like people in like usually like cooks or artists. But I think this gate 6 could also apply to like Gen Z irony, and also this need for like this stability that people have to like referencing fashion, like to like things that people know and things that have already been done as a sort of scale of what is iconic and what is legitimate, and as to also form a sense of intimacy. If you get it, you're in. If you don't, you're out. That's the sort of natural, I don't want to say it's natural selection because it's kind of artificial selection, human selection. Like, it's the gateway then to like accept intimacy from the others. Like, if you know they're in, it's like you feel connected to them, to these people, or even to one person. So this could definitely even apply on a one-on-one scale. Like, for example, especially if you're like in a big city and you know that someone like gets references of like what you're wearing or your type of humor, um, or like where something is referenced from, you know they're in the same circle. So it's like it pertains to the tribalistic themes of Gate 6 and therefore also Gate 59. If you're not into human design, this might like not make much sense. It's like, okay, what, okay, tribalistic, okay, because there's like different kinds of gates in human design, and tribalistic is one of the three. There's also like individualistic gates and collective gates, but I just described like the characteristics of a tribalistic gate. And I feel like it's so interesting that we're kind of in a time right now where it's very tribalistic, but under the facade of individualism. So I find that very interesting. Like, Gen Z seems to be like somehow they have these two extremes between like being tribalistic and individualistic, in my opinion. To be honest, I need to still understand what collective gates really mean, to be honest, but there's a polarity, like this sense like hyper individualism, but also um, this these standards, but these standards can only exist within a tribe. You know what I no, that's not true. But anyways, I'll cut that out.